I sort of can't believe this, but Etsy's updated more things. They've updated their Keywords 101 document. They have also clarified some things with the new policy changes. If you haven't spotted them, check out my past two videos on that. And I just wanted to share with you how you can deal with if customers ask for express shipping. So let's get started. First of all, with Keywords 101, Etsy updated a day or so ago. The changes aren't massive, but are they important? I'll let you decide. So, on the left, top left is what it used to say, the essentials, the keywords you use in your titles, tags, listing descriptions, categories, and attributes work together to match your listings with shopper searches. When there's a match to a search query, your items have the potential to appear in the search results. And then this new change. It's cut right down. It says the keywords you use across your listing titles, descriptions, tags, categories, and attributes are essential when it comes to matching you to the right buyers. So this doesn't sound like a big change, but what it's saying is it's gone from when there's a match to a search query, your items have the potential, to just saying these are these are essential when it comes to matching you to the right buyers. So that has my spidey senses slightly wondering, are there some changes to search coming out, or is this just clarifying changes that already exist? Because at the end of the day, Etsy uses your tags, titles, uses your keywords to not just match you in search, but also to place you in other places. If someone finds the competitor's listing in search and they get options of, you might also like these kind of things. Also, they're talking about making Etsy a more sort of browsable experience rather than a searchable experience. So they learn a buyer's preferences, personalize the homepage for them, personalize some of their recommendations and something. So this might just be saying that we're moving more towards this. So keywords are not becoming irrelevant, but they're going to be moved. It's not just when there's a match to your search, when there's a match to the search query, but it could be shown in other ways. Another thing I'm thinking is Etsy do use like synonyms and regional things. Perhaps they'll be going more into this. This is what search engines are moving towards, rather than the person types in something. If you have an exact match to it, great, you've got a chance to be being seen. But rather, if the search engine algorithm understands what the buyer meant when they were searching for the thing. So if your tags and titles and everything explain properly without using the exact words, but the algorithm understands you could be seen for the keyword that you didn't actually have anywhere in your listing, but all the other words make it relevant, make it understandably relevant. Now, these things already sort of happen, but is this a change just to clarify that, just to bring in, make sure the wording's correct, or is this a change to say that they're going to make some changes going forwards? I don't know. What do you think? And then this is just an interesting one. In explaining the titles, Etsy have always had an example, but they've changed it. So their example used to be personalised dop kit, men's leather dop kit, groomsman's gift, add monogram. And now they've changed it to personalised wash bag, men's leather wash bag, groomsman gift, add a monogram. I had to look up what dop kit is, and it seems to be a generic term for the kind of toiletries bag for a man, a leather toiletries bag. However, looking deeper into it, in the early 2000s, the trademark for this was cancelled or expired, but in 2017, it was reactivated again. So there's an argument it's not, it's generic term, so it's possibly in the public domain, but if they've reactivated the trademark, if the company own it, they might be starting coming for people. They might be trying to fight to protect their trademark. So it is possible that Etsy removed that just to remove any confusion. I have no idea. This was a new one. I didn't even know what a dop kit was, not being a man or buying fancy toiletry bags. Etsy did in the forums clarify their creativity standards. I'm not entirely sure. Clarifications always lead to more uncertainty, but here they said, "Hi all, we understand there's some confusion about recent changes to the language in our creativity standards, so we wanted to jump in to provide more clarity. As you know, we introduced our creativity standards last summer to help our community better understand and comply with our policies, emphasising the role of the seller in every item allowed on Etsy. This continues to be our goal, so when we heard from you that some of our policies could be clearer, we said that a year ago, we made a few adjustments to the language of our creativity standards and added new help centre content," which we went over a couple of days ago. Now, this is interesting because it's saying, oh, it could be clearer. We made a few adjustments. No, they have literally changed some things that can be sold that couldn't be sold before. Anyway, we've not introduced new policy categories. That's true. The categories are the same. We've added more details to a few existing policy areas like craft and party supplies, where we commonly see violations and confusion where listings are removed. For example, we wanted to make it clear that you must use your own original designs rather than reproducing designs you didn't create yourself. Yes, and I'm sorry for anybody that came to Etsy following the advice from gurus that blow up on YouTube and TikTok that basically say how to make $1 million on Etsy, find something that's selling well and copy it. That was never allowed. That was bad advice, and it really annoys me that these people go absolutely viral peddling this bad advice. But anyway, so Etsy's annoyed with it and saying, no, they don't want it. This has always been our intention as a creative marketplace for original items. Our goal in further clarifying policy language like this is to help sellers avoid potential violations and flags. As always, when we identify a listing that violates our policies, we notify the seller, then we remove it. We're continuously working to make these communications more detailed and clear. Keeping our marketplace special is a team effort, and we appreciate your feedback. So give Etsy feedback. As usual, that's a bit wrong because they have changed some things. It's not just a clarification of words, because literally in their policies, there are some sections that used to be in allowed, permitted, and they're now in prohibited. So that is not just clearing up language, that is absolutely changing things. But anyway, so that's what they're saying. But we've got some more. So firstly, one of the big changes, well, it wasn't a big change. We talked about this a while ago, whether it was okay to have a listing that says like upgrade to express shipping or faster processing or something. And they've now specifically said that you can't have listings solely for just updating shipping. So one thing that you can do, and I believe this is only in some shipping policies. I think if you have their calculated shipping, this doesn't show up, but in other types of shipping profiles, you have an optional section for delivery upgrades. So you can choose international or domestic or both. And put an optional upgrade that people can buy. So if they choose this faster delivery, you don't have an option for faster processing times. But anyway, you could offer faster delivery, and then the price that you put there is added on top of your standard delivery to that place. So that is an option you can do. Another option you could do, you can't have a listing that's solely for this, but you could have a listing that is for the item plus fast processing plus fast shipping. So that is a possibility. However, how often do customers purchase something and then tell you they want it quickly, or ask you if they can buy upgrades because they missed the delivery upgrades and things? So, and I'll show you in a minute, but Etsy has kind of said that this is an okay thing to do. If a buyer messages you, you can create a custom order for them. And these Etsy are saying can be for things like the express shipping. So if you've had a message from a customer, in the top right hand corner, you'll see this create custom order. If you click on this, you're able to create like a private listing just for that customer. So it's potentially allowed, but I would check with Etsy. And here is, now these are things that I've been hearing from several people. They've asked Etsy support. I will say Etsy customer support don't necessarily have all the details. Some of them were giving answers based on the old policies, so they don't necessarily know what they're doing. But this is what have been said. I would get it in writing yourself from Etsy. The more we ask these questions, the more they are likely to come out with an official statement. You've seen the only official statement, but anyway. First one. In regards to the updated creativity standards, I've just contacted Etsy and asked the question, can I use a licensed image not drawn by me as part of my design? And the answer was yes, providing you have the rights to use the image and add your own creative input to the finished product. So this is what we thought when Etsy said designs that you're creating or printing or whatever else can't just be things that you've bought. You are allowed to use, like people are saying, oh, I sell clip art, I do this, I do that. Is my shop going to be killed because people can't just buy it and use it in their own Etsy listings? They can use it as part of their design. Now, Etsy's not telling us how much, but it does make sense if they're saying you're not hand making an item by buying a t-shirt and sticking a rhinestone on it. Just the same, you're not hand making an item just by buying a t-shirt and printing a design that you've bought from someone else on it. So I think it's fair enough. You have to do something to make it your own design, and this sort of always was the case. They're just clarifying it a bit more, and sadly they also added into it things like if you're using computerized tools like an embroiderer or a 3D printer or something, you can't just use someone else's design or pattern or file or something like that, but you have to do something with it. So in my opinion, that's, it's kind of the same. If you've purchased a digital file to create something, that is, apart from the fact that 3D printers and embroiders and stuff are not as easy, that they take a bit of skill, but let's imagine it is similar to buying a stamp or a sticker or something. Like, I believe you can still hand make cards by buying elements and combining them together onto a card. That's a creative thing, but you can't just stick one thing onto something and say it's done. So they're kind of saying you've got to have had something to do with the design of it. Whether I agree with that or not, I think there's definitely some grey area there, and things I've watched my mum with some of these tools. They are definitely not just plug in and play. You have to figure out the materials. You have to figure out the depth of how far, when she's got a cutting machine. Yeah, that things go wrong more often than they go right. Anyway. And the other thing from Etsy support was saying, yes, sellers can create private or custom listings for the buyer to cover the extra of express or priority shipping after they make the purchase. So these are things that Etsy support have said are okay. I'm not 100% confident what's said by Etsy support. To be honest, you're not even supposed to share it. So that's why I've seen this from numerous people. So I'm just taking snippets from numerous people. But I don't take what Etsy support say as policy, but this is all we've got so far. I would, as I was saying with the express shipping thing, the create custom order, I would give the options for express shipping. If you're in any way not sure of what you can do, I don't like it as an option, but you can cancel the order the customer did, create a listing for them which has the item they want and the speed they want it at, and get them to purchase that, just to keep yourself absolutely safe. Or if you feel this is what Etsy's telling you can do, you could do the custom order. It's up to you. But that's what I think Etsy is telling us. Let me know what you think. Do you think they're about to change search? If they're gonna do it just now. It's summertime. I think they are gonna make some tweaks. Potentially, it's just the end of the quarter. We'll get the quarterly results in a little while. They usually do something and announce it for the quarterly results. So I think these little changes are going to be for a bigger change coming up. That's just my feeling. Based on what's happened in the past. But let me know what you think, or if you've heard anything, or there's any stirrings.